hearing about them, but I can't get away from them. They're everywhere, in my face.
Look, Kyle, we just kind of don't care about some dumb prince and his stupid...
Harry hates the paparazzi, and he married one.
Meghan Markle, they've just learned the hardest of lessons, which is, if you start a brawl, do not be surprised if you end up getting punched twice as hard. In fact, South Park has just knocked them out.
Harry here actually shows his bum crack.
But Harry and old Meghan, you know, it's good for the goose, I guess.
God love them. Well, I tell you what, Trey Parker and Matt Stone cashed up.
It's irritating to see fake as F.
And look, South Park is known for satire and for mocking people. No one is safe. This isn't the first time they've done an episode on the royal family. But this particular episode was quite scathing in the grains of truth that it held. And I'm not sure how the Sussexes are taking it. Obviously, it is a cartoon.
Really, I did not have a camera on us.
Meghan's buying it kosher, and I don't think there's much on the inside. There's talk that the royals are going to sue over this episode now. Would you recommend they do that, kosher?
Only a narcissist would do that, and that's exactly what she is. She proved it yet again.
Mercilessly skewered the pomposity and absurdity, actually, of the Duke and Duchess, as you quite rightly say. And you know what they did, I think, really well in this episode.
You are one of the most despised, hated people around the world.
No, the place would be on fire.
Correct.
But yeah, I mean, the fact that they're going to go after a cartoon and try to sue a cartoon tells you all you need to know. They've gone after every person and their dog, every celebrity, everyone in history. I don't think
this is what an actual Meghan looks like. At rest.
Normal people, that's the time when, let's be honest, sometimes the husband might just be sitting there in his undies. Sometimes you might be there with the hair up and the no makeup, because guess what? You're living your life.
She just daily, she's like a child that's got a dressing up box. And every day she's something else. And it must be exhausting.
Can't sue a cartoon. It's satire. It is what it is. South Park has done episodes on the royal family, on the royal wedding of Kate and William, for instance. So it's not something that they would be able to sue about. And I genuinely just don't believe it.
Meghan and Harry are selfish, cruel pigs.
They're so irritated at this stage that they jump up and down in their antics. Oh my God.
It started with a video that wasn't supposed to look like a commercial.
Straight face. And the same outlet literally calls it for what it was, an irritating stage celebration.
Black and white, soft lighting, a luxury home theater glowing in perfect contrast.
It's worse than that because clearly they have some sort of a video in their movie room, in their enormous theater room. So relatable.
Meghan Markle, barefoot and beaming, jumps up as the Dodgers clinch the World Series.
And they sat in that theater and like two hyenas, this one and her friend. I don't know who the friend was, but she was as annoying as Meghan Markle.
Her friend screams. She laughs on cue, and Prince Harry sits beside them, motionless, polite, almost invisible.
He looked like a hostage there. I mean, you really kind of wanted to have King Charles send in the equivalent of the Navy SEALs into Montecito to go rescue the prince.
The clip lasted 20 seconds, but it rewrote the entire week. To the public, it didn't feel like a celebration. It felt like another production.
Start acting like 12-year-olds. I mean, even younger, maybe 4.
People who had cheered her years ago now rolled their eyes.
The Duchess's recent publicity spree has fooled no one and made her and her husband less popular than ever in America.
Everything about it, every angle, every reaction seemed staged.
Back and she cut it and she posted and acted like it was organic because she's desperate for our attention.
And the more carefully she smiled, the less believable the moment became.
Oh, God damn it, now the prince is playing polo on the lot.
We are here because privacy is a basic human right. How many more princes and his wives have to live in this nightmare?
The irony, that wasn't even the first time the Dodgers had turned on them.
This couple are just as unpopular in woke California as they are in the United Kingdom.
A few nights earlier, the couple had appeared at Dodger Stadium.
This just doesn't seem right to me that we've got two randoms sitting in front of one of the greatest Dodgers of all time.
Front row, center stage, placed ahead of the men whose names built Los Angeles baseball.
Famous LA Laker, real LA sports legends are behind Harry and Meghan because, they're true fans. True fans.
Magic Johnson, Sandy Koufax.
Complete joke. Speaking of complete jokes, she's also getting called out.
When the Jumbotron landed on them, you could almost feel the collective pause. Then the sound hit, a wave of sharp, unmistakable boos.
When they appeared on the cam to the audience, to the crowd, there were boos ringing out through the whole stadium. Harry totally.
Harry froze. Meghan tightened her smile, the kind of smile that belongs on a magazine cover.
Meghan could barely tear her eyes away from the camera. There's so many shots of the players in mid-game, and Meghan's like she's got a trained eye going through the legs of the players, focusing on that camera lens.
Not in a crowd of 40,000 fans. The camera lingered too long. It felt awkward, human, and completely unscripted, something they hadn't experienced in years. They had demanded privacy, escaped the palace, built a life far from headlines.
The Duchess's recent publicity spree has fooled no one and made her and her husband less popular than ever in America.
Only to find themselves booed on a giant screen in California.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle booed at the baseball.
That moment should have been a wake-up call. Instead, it became the prologue to something even stranger. Days later, when the Dodgers won, Meghan decided to reclaim the narrative. She posted the home theater clip, stylized, edited, framed in monochrome like a perfume ad.
Weirdly, Meghan Markle just happened to have herself on camera, along with Prince Harry, at the moment, and shared this little gem with us.
The message was clear. Look how normal we are. Just two parents enjoying baseball at home.
Normal people, that's the time when, let's be honest, sometimes the husband might just be sitting there in his undies. Sometimes you might be there with the hair up and the no makeup, because guess what? You're living your life.
But viewers noticed details she didn't expect them to see. The lighting wasn't warm, it was professional. The framing looked like it came from a film crew, not a family iPhone.
Which they just conveniently had a camera set up for in their screening room. I guess it just films them all the time.
Harry's posture told another story. Hands folded, expression vacant, eyes drifting toward the floor.
The husband is so bored. He is so and when your team wins at the end of a 7-game, that would be a moment to go, hey. Instead, he's so bored because he knows they're not watching it to watch the game. They're watching it so people can watch them watching the game.
Sports fans laughed first. They pointed out that Meghan had never mentioned baseball before.
Meghan Markle has no affinity for the LA Dodgers, and everybody knows this.
She had never once been spotted in Dodgers blue.
She doesn't give two shits about the Dodgers. She just wants you to think she does because they're relevant, and unlike her, they're winners.
The entire clip, they said, was performance, an attempt to borrow someone else's victory and turn it into content.
Only a narcissist would do that, and that's exactly what she is. She proved it yet again.
Commentators followed. Some said it was harmless fun. Others called it calculated desperation. A few went further, claiming Harry looked like a man who realized too late that his life had turned into a live stream.
They put them in front. Look at this. I'll let him explain.
Meghan Markle sitting in the front row, essentially right behind the plate.
But that wasn't the end. Because when a story becomes too easy to mock, South Park inevitably shows up.
But everything they're saying is hugely negative. This is a desperation play.
In the next episode of the animated show, the writers didn't even need to exaggerate. They simply mirrored what everyone had already seen.
While Meghan may fancy herself as a master media manipulator, she doesn't understand that the public is finally tiring of her smoke and mirrors.
Cartoon Meghan jumps on a couch, screaming about her favorite team.
Who laughs who celebrates with like a high-pitched, it sounded like it was like half animal, half orgasm.
Cartoon Harry sits beside her, muttering, "I thought you liked the Blue Jays."
And he's like, oh my God, what did I marry?
She replies, "I like whatever people like when they're watching me." The audience roared. It was funny, cruel, and painfully familiar. The satire played like a highlight reel of everything that had gone wrong. The boos at the stadium, the staged celebration, the obsession with being seen.
And now she peppers it here with, see, there I am. It's all about me and my joy because I swear I'm authentic. I'm a Californian. I love the Dodgers just like normal people, even though I'm firing or at least losing my 10th publicist right now, literally days earlier in the news because I bully everyone.
It wasn't about baseball anymore. It was about authenticity. For Meghan, that word used to mean connection. Now it meant exposure.
You're just everything members of the royal family should not be. You know, grifters, chancers, desperately trying to pretend that you care about the ordinary people when you really don't.
Back in Montecito, insiders said the mood turned icy. Meghan didn't laugh. She reportedly called the episode disgusting and sexist, claiming it trivialized her family. Harry told friends he wanted to ignore it.
And he believes in the saying, happy wife, happy life. He's happy not to be involved in that world.
But those close to the couple said she couldn't stop replaying the clip. Meanwhile, the rest of Hollywood was quietly taking notes. Producers who had once fought to get her on camera now hesitated. Brand strategists whispered that the image had gone stale, too polished to feel real.
Don't you think she's so behind when it comes to social media? Like, this was all just a little bit cringe to me.
Too defensive to be likable. Because once a parody lands that close to truth, it's impossible to undo.
She just daily, she's like a child that's got a dressing up box. And every day she's something else. And it must be exhausting. And
every new interview, every product, every quote will carry that shadow. And yet, instead of pulling back, Meghan leaned in. The following week, her lifestyle line as ever launched a holiday collection. Cameras returned, the lighting identical to that Dodgers clip. She poured boiling water into a pot, added a sachet of spices, and called it her seasonal ritual.
Why is Meghan Markle selling boiled water as an as-ever product?
The internet renamed it what it was, flavored steam.
God, I've never seen him serve it up in a mug. Looks like she'll make spicy tea because she has no idea what she's really doing. Madam, fake it till you make it in Montecito.
The coincidence was too perfect. South Park had literally predicted it.
If I'm not mistaken, Meghan Markle just made mulled water. Wouldn't you add spices to apple cider or wine, not water?
Viewers compared scenes side by side. The cartoon Spiritual Cider next to her real-life demo.
But then again, what should we expect from a person labeling sustains as tea?
One smelled of satire. The other smelled like deja vu.
It's clearly available to buy now, so can't sell out as quick.
What should have been a cozy holiday ad turned into another wave of laughter. It was as if every move she made now triggered its own punchline. But behind the smiles and the soft lighting, something deeper was shifting. And what happened next would shock everyone watching. Inside the mansion, silence became its own kind of noise. The same walls that once echoed with curated laughter now carried the weight of whispers and unfinished arguments. Harry tried to act like it didn't bother him. He'd seen worse from the tabloids, from the press, from the palace. But this was different. This wasn't a scandal built on gossip. It was built on truth disguised as comedy.
he has lost that ability to just relax, make a fool of himself. But then nobody's ever going to believe that Harry is that man anymore. They've seen too much vindictiveness, too much spite, too much anger.
Every time the Dodgers video replayed on a talk show, Harry's blank stare was there too.
Oh, what I heard in that room, but it was very wrong. Clearly, Prince Harry didn't like it and had heard it too often.
Every time someone joked about the staged celebration, Meghan's voice came back. Too loud, too rehearsed, too perfect.
This is all so fake. This is so stupid. Why? Because she's just trying to rage bait us.
For years, she had mastered the art of control. Now, control was slipping, and she could feel it. That's the thing about public image. It's not lost in a single moment. It erodes slowly, frame by frame, until the smile you once used to protect yourself becomes the very thing people laugh at.
People can see right through your fake brand and your fake personality and how you use people.
And the people laughing weren't the British press this time. It was America, the country she thought would finally understand her.
Just rated her the #1 most loathed celebrity in the United States in its poll of 48,000 people. Prince Harry is only 2 slots behind her.
For Hollywood, it was like watching a rerun of a show that used to be interesting. Once upon a time, Meghan represented reinvention, a royal who escaped the crown to live freely. Now she looked like a brand still trying to sell rebellion long after the audience moved on.
So that insiders now say it's proof why Meghan Markle's relaunch is completely flawed.
One producer who had worked with her briefly said it bluntly. You can't build an empire on victimhood and then act surprised when the sympathy runs out.
They got all that money because they decided to stick a knife in the royal family that gave Harry money to begin with and made them relevant. So they decided to basically extort them and get money by making fun of them and calling them racists, and Netflix paid them money for that.
The irony was brutal. Everything that once made her fascinating, the mystery, the rebellion, the fairy tale gone wrong, had turned into a checklist of old headlines. And the Dodgers video, for all its effort to seem relatable, made her look even more out of touch. Because when you live behind gates, authenticity doesn't come from lighting or angles. It comes from silence. And silence was the one thing Meghan had never been able to film.
Weirdly, I did not have a camera on us.
Still, she refused to let the story die. According to people close to the couple, Meghan told her team she wanted to reclaim the narrative again. She believed the Dodgers moment was being misunderstood. She believed the world was mocking her for caring too much. But that wasn't true. They weren't mocking her for cheering. They were mocking her for turning every emotion into content.
Start acting like
12-year-olds. I mean, even younger, maybe 4.
Even her defenders were exhausted. The same commentators who once called her brave were now calling her predictable.
She just daily, she's like a child that's got a dressing up box. And every day she's something else. And it must be exhausting.
One columnist wrote, "Every time Meghan shows us her private life, it looks suspiciously like a commercial." That line spread quietly through entertainment circles. No hashtags, no slogans, just the uncomfortable truth that authenticity can't be scripted. Meanwhile, Harry drifted further into the background. He had become the man sitting quietly next to the performance, a supporting character in someone else's brand. Insiders described him as distant, polite, compliant. The same man who once vowed to escape the spotlight was now stuck inside one brighter than ever. There's a kind of tragedy in that, because whether you like him or not, Harry never seemed built for spectacle.
But it's also because of his experiences over the past few years, and because of what he's done, and because of the weight on him and the unhappiness in the marriage, and the fact that he knows that he's thrown his family under the bus.
He always looked most human when he wasn't trying to be seen.
Normal people, that's the time when, let's be honest, sometimes the husband might just be sitting there in his undies. Sometimes you might be there with the hair up and the no makeup, because guess what? You're living your life.
And now, even his silence was being packaged as part of the show.
Who's his #1 paparazzi now? It's his own wife.
The Dodgers video captured that perfectly. Meghan clapping like a director calling action, and Harry sitting there like he'd missed the cue. And if South Park had exaggerated anything, it wasn't her, it was him. The animated version of Harry tried to escape. The real one just stared ahead, as if wondering when the scene would end. A week later, Meghan's team tried to shift the focus again with the A's Ever holiday collection. Candles inspired by family warmth, honey jars named after healing energy. Each product wrapped in pastel tones and pre-approved quotes about self-care. The problem? No one was buying it, literally or emotionally. The launch photos looked almost identical to the Dodgers clip. The same filtered calm, the same choreographed intimacy. To her followers, it was aesthetic. To her critics, it was evidence. Proof that everything she touched was theater. The public wasn't cruel about it. They were tired. Tired of statements, tired of slogans, tired of watching two people insist on privacy while broadcasting every inch of their lives.
Harry here actually shows his bum crack.
And for the first time, Meghan couldn't control what people were saying, because they weren't angry anymore. They were entertained.
Harry needs no help whatsoever looking a fool, but I really feel like this comedian danced rings around him in this.
And laughter, more than hate, is what kills a brand. But that wasn't the end of it. Something else began to happen behind the cameras. Something her team hadn't predicted. Hollywood started to pull away. Not with press statements, not with drama, just quiet, professional distance. Meetings were postponed. Collaborations went on pause. PR executives who once pitched her name in meetings began using it as a cautionary tale.
Meghan's staff, that's why they keep bailing on her, and everybody's off onto a new career. I mean, they're not even lasting 3 months now.
It wasn't about South Park anymore. It wasn't even about the Dodgers. It was about fatigue. The moment when a story that once felt royal now felt repetitive. The same message, the same tone, the same smile that used to feel powerful had turned into background noise. And that's what terrified Meghan most. Because for her, being ignored is worse than being booed. She had spent years trying to escape institutions that controlled her. But maybe the real institution was something else. Something built from cameras, clicks, and carefully managed perception.
Who's his #1 paparazzi now? It's his own wife.
Every time she tried to step away from it, she ended up performing for it.
When you marry Meghan Markle, you must be willing to do anything for even the slightest bit of attention.
And the Dodgers video was the purest example of that cycle. A woman trying to prove she's real by filming herself being real.
A moment that brought me to my feet, cheering with tears, because I'm a normal person who doesn't try to do that.
A man trying to look supportive by pretending to care, and a world watching, waiting, laughing, not out of cruelty, but because they recognized something familiar.
People can see right through your fake brand and your fake personality and how you use people.
The moment we start recording every feeling, it stops being a feeling.
I wasn't ready to film us on the winning moment. My eyes, as my son's eyes, were focused on the television because that was what was interesting.
It becomes content. And Meghan Markle, for all her success, for all her power, still can't tell the difference. But that wasn't the whole story, because what happened next would redefine how Hollywood looked at her forever.
Just rated her the #1 most loathed celebrity in the United States in its poll of 48,000 people. Prince Harry is only 2 slots behind her.
The cameras may have gone quiet, but Hollywood wasn't. The phone calls that once came daily now came with hesitation. Polite voices saying, "We'll be in touch soon."
Meghan's staff, that's why they keep bailing on her, and everybody's off onto a new career. I mean, they're not even lasting 3 months now.
The people who had built careers off her name were suddenly careful about mentioning it. It wasn't anger, it was caution. She had become unpredictable in a way brands fear. Executives had seen it before. The slow drift from intrigue to exhaustion. Every few years, the entertainment industry finds someone it can't stop watching. Then, when that person stops surprising them, they move on without warning.
While Meghan may fancy herself as a master media manipulator, she doesn't understand that the public is finally tiring of her smoke and mirrors.
It's not personal, it's physics. Attention moves to the next story that feels new. For Meghan, that realization came like a slow leak. You don't hear it at first, you just feel the pressure dropping. One of her publicists tried to spin it differently. They called it a season of reflection, a phrase that sounded thoughtful in press releases. But inside her house, reflection looked more like frustration. The Dodgers clip still haunted her, not because of the booze, but because of how perfectly it summed up everything she didn't want to admit.
You are one of the most despised, hated people around the world.
Every frame of that video was meant to prove something, that she was happy, that she was relatable, that the move to America had worked. But instead of showing peace, it showed distance. Her excitement looked rehearsed. His silence looked exhausted. It was the one piece of footage she couldn't edit into redemption, and the world didn't forget it. It kept looping quietly in the background, a symbol of a couple who had turned their escape story into an endless audition.
Why are we so mad today? Because we want our privacy.
Park County Police Station, what's your emergency?
Yeah, the neighbors across the street are setting off fireworks and it's 10:30 at night.
Oh, is it the Prince of Canada and his wife who just want to be left alone?
Yes, they're being super loud and I'm trying to work on my brand.
Harry, meanwhile, withdrew even further. He started turning down interviews, staying away from events where cameras were guaranteed. Those who saw him described a man caught between 2 lives. The private one he wanted, and the performance he couldn't avoid. Every time Meghan stepped back into the spotlight, he followed. Not because he wanted to, but because walking away now would look like betrayal. The irony of it all was heavy. They had left the monarchy to live freely, but they had replaced one form of obligation with another, the obligation to stay relevant.
So that insiders now say it's proof why Meghan Markle's relaunch is completely flawed.
And relevance is a hunger that never ends. The more Meghan tried to rebuild, the more obvious the cracks became. Her team brainstormed new ways to present her. More casual, more human, more motherly.
She's using the children. Like I said, many people are now saying that she's completely exploiting the children because the children's faces get revealed right before she then launches her holiday products.
But you can't script warmth. You can light it, you can frame it, you can even rehearse it. But people know the difference. The Dodgers clip became the unspoken test. If a scene felt too perfect, too polished, someone in the room would whisper, "Let's not go full Dodgers on this."
I don't give a what you think because it's so easy and it's out of my face, and that's because I'm an honest person and she's not.
It became industry shorthand for overproduced authenticity. To her, that was humiliation. To Hollywood, it was caution. When the new South Park episode reran on cable a month later, she refused to watch it. But she didn't need to. Every joke in it had already happened in real life. The fake cider? Real.
Why is Meghan Markle selling boiled water as an as-ever product?
The forced celebration? Real.
Imagine a former royal prince has been reduced to being an unpaid extra in his wife's deluded fantasy world.
The endless need for attention while demanding privacy? Real. What had once been satire was now documentary. Friends say she started questioning why people couldn't see her intentions. But intentions don't matter when the image already speaks louder than words. She had built an empire on messaging, and the message had outgrown her control. Behind closed doors, people who had once admired her began whispering the same thing. She doesn't understand the audience anymore. The world had shifted. People were craving rawness, unfiltered reactions, rough edges, moments that felt spontaneous. And Meghan's life had none of that left. Every appearance looked like a trailer. Every word sounded like a quote from a press release. Even her critics, who had once accused the media of mistreating her, started asking whether she had become her own press machine. She wasn't being chased anymore. She was doing the chasing. But perhaps the most revealing change came from the people who used to defend her publicly. They didn't attack. They simply stopped showing up. Journalists who once built entire careers careers on analyzing her silence moved on to newer stories. Paparazzi who used to camp outside her home started skipping shifts. When attention is your oxygen, that kind of quiet feels like suffocation. And the Dodgers moment kept replaying in the background. The smile, the shriek, the husband pretending to care. The clip that was supposed to make her look human had made her look hollow, and nothing she did afterward could fill that silence again.
Down with the monarchy! Windows of our private.
Still, there was one thing Meghan had always been good at: endurance. She wasn't going to disappear quietly. She believed every storm could be turned into a comeback. But even she didn't realize how different this one was. This wasn't a scandal. This was a shift in tone, a cultural cold shoulder. People weren't furious anymore. They were indifferent, and indifference is a far sharper blade than hate. Because you can fight critics. You can't fight disinterest. The night after the South Park rerun, Meghan reportedly stayed up scrolling through articles, rereading old quotes about strength, resilience, destiny. She believed she could rewrite the story again. She just hadn't realized that the audience had already changed the channel. Somewhere between the boos at Dodger Stadium and the laughter on South Park. Something inside the Meghan Markle story changed forever. It wasn't about fame anymore. It wasn't about the royal family or revenge or even privacy. It was about the one thing no one in her circle wanted to admit. People had stopped believing her.
People can see right through your fake brand and your fake personality and how you use people.
Belief is fragile. It's what makes the audience root for you even when you fall. But when every moment looks like a photo shoot, belief slowly drains away. That's what happened in the black and white theater clip. She wanted to show joy. What people saw instead was performance.
They're so irritated at this staged that they jump up and down in their antics. Oh my God.
And performance only works when the audience still wants to applaud. The tragedy of the Dodgers night wasn't the booing. It wasn't even the fake celebration. It was that she didn't recognize what those moments meant. They weren't attacks. They were warnings. Signals from the public saying, "We're not angry, we're tired." For years, Meghan built a brand around control. Every frame, every soundbite, every quote had to serve the narrative. But control doesn't make people care. Emotion does. And emotion can't be manufactured. Even Harry, who once looked like her greatest ally, now seemed caught in the crossfire of someone else's campaign.
But it's also because of his experiences over the past few years and because of what he's done and because of the weight on him and the unhappiness in the marriage and the fact that he knows that he's thrown his family under the bus.
In every clip that went viral, he looked like a man split between two worlds. The one where he could finally live quietly and the one that wouldn't stop filming him. People started seeing them differently. Not as rebels or victims or celebrities, but as symbols of something bigger. The couple who demanded privacy but couldn't survive without attention. The couple who ran from headlines only to build their own. The couple who thought they could control the story but ended up trapped inside it. In a strange way, the Dodger saga was never really about baseball. It was about exposure, the moment when the mask slipped and the camera kept rolling. Because beneath the elegance and the branding, the laughter and the lighting, there was exhaustion. And that exhaustion was visible, especially in Harry's eyes.
He's proving himself to live the most miserable life ever. And that's what he's committed himself to doing.
He wasn't angry. He wasn't rebellious. He was just tired. Tired of pretending that the noise was love. Weeks later, Meghan's team tried one last wave of positivity. A charity visit here. A wellness post there.
She just daily, she's like a child that's got a dressing up box. And every day she's something else. And it must be exhausting.
But the rhythm had changed. The internet wasn't biting the way it used to. People watched the clips, smirked, and moved on. No outrage, no defense, just indifference. And that's how it always ends for the overexposed. Not with scandal, but with silence. In that silence, though, there's something poetic. Because what South Park did wasn't cruelty. It was honesty disguised as comedy. They showed her the reflection she had spent years avoiding. The one where the audience stops listening and starts laughing. They didn't create the joke. They just pointed the camera back.
I didn't know we're going to use our home security footage as TikTok.
In the cartoon, Harry begs to turn off the cameras. In real life, he probably wishes he could.
He looked like a hostage there. You really kind of wanted to have King Charles send in the equivalent of the Navy SEALs into Montecito to go rescue the prince.
But Meghan, as always, can't look away. Because deep down, she knows the truth. If the cameras stop, the story ends.
When you marry Meghan Markle, you must be willing to do anything for even the slightest bit of attention.
And for someone who's built a life on being the story, that's the one ending she can't afford. Still, there's a strange kind of justice in all of it. A reminder that fame isn't about how loud you shout. It's about how real you sound when the microphone's off.
I don't give a what you think because it's so easy and it's out of my face. And that's because I'm an honest person and she's not.
The Dodgers night, the fake celebration, the parody, the products, all of it blurred into one endless performance.
Imagine a former royal prince has been reduced to being an unpaid extra in his wife's deluded fantasy world.
And maybe, just maybe, the world finally realized that the performance was the point. So when people say South Park destroyed Meghan Markle, they're only half right. The truth is, she destroyed the illusion herself. The cartoon just gave everyone permission to laugh while it happened. Because the moment you turn your life into content, you stop being a mystery. And the audience never roots for a show they've already figured out. The royal fairy tale ended years ago. What's left now is something simpler and far more human. A woman still chasing the applause of a crowd that's already turned away.
You are one of the most despised, hated people around the world.
But maybe that's the real story behind the Dodgers clip. Not the booze, not the parody, not the scandal. Just a reminder that when you live for the camera never stops watching.